So that Sean has made the executive decision
Mm-hmm.
to run point on this particular podcast.
I am Magic Johnson.
Which we don't usually allow.
I am
We're
Chris
usually
Paul.
We
in
might
general
regret.
not okay
Hey,
with
look,
that.
We
man,
might regret this.
Today, you guys have to address me as Rayshawn Rondo. Because
Why?
that's the point guarding that I'm doing today. Rayshawn Rondo.
So you,
Wait.
so
do
no
you think
long,
he was
no
bogus?
long jumpers for you.
Do I think Rayshawn was bogus?
Yeah,
I mean,
bogus
Rayshawn?
for Ray John for not sitting with the Lakers.
No,
when he
he's done
separated
this
himself.
all season long. Like,
Yeah, he's
they
done
just
this
want
Yeah.
something to
several
make a
times.
Lakers storyline at
He's
this point.
done several
But we'll hop
Nah.
into that a little bit later on because I got a
Okay.
Lakers question for Jamal too. But first,
shit.
how's everybody been doing? I ain't seen you guys here in a while.
Good, man.
How's life? You got a new house?
I do.
Congratulations.
Really?
Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate that,
growing
man.
up.
Yeah, Jamal's the real adult. I'm
kinda-
just here. Flagging.
Hey man, look, when I get the housewarming popping, I will let everyone know.
No, we're gonna
Okay.
let the people that are sitting here know, not everyone listening.
Are you gonna let everyone
We're
know?
not setting
huh?
you out to
That's
these Chicago
That's a good
coons.
point. That's a
Project
good point.
X.
That's definitely not gonna have that shit. Absolutely. But yeah, I'll let y'all know. Housewarming coming up soon.
Marvelous.
When it
Portia,
get warm out.
how are you?
Why are you saying the word marvelous? Like all
I
of
can't
a
have a
sudden.
vocabulary.
Okay. Well, I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Pretty good. Just,
Glowing is normal.
I try.
Gorgeous as always.
Thank
Can I
you.
just say, shout out to PK for getting me on the
Oh.
whatever marketing group to
Shout out
go
to
see
Allied.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, shout out to
Ah,
Ally,
Allied, yeah,
man.
yeah.
Shout out to Ally. Because I walked in and she said, yeah, I put Jamal on the list. He's not here yet. I'm like, well, it's kind of like Jamal.
I was hella
I'm glad
late.
he's on the list.
I was hella late.
Did you show up after they already gave the speech about you got to put your phones away or they'll throw you out?
Yes.
Portia walked in
certainly.
like right after that though.
Probably so.
I was there
Portia
during
worked
the
valet and
speech.
came in afterwards. I
I
left my
was
shoes
there.
at home, guys.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
We also appreciate everyone that came and saw us at Soul Sessions.
Yeah.
That was a very good time.
So
It was a
sessions
vibe.
good.
It was amazing.
Always a vibe.
And yeah, I'm here as well, guys. I'm back off vacation.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
energized.
How was
Yeah.
the NO?
New Orleans.
Wody?
I miss New Orleans a lot. I fell in love 5 times.
I'm sure.
Just 5.
Just 5.
You know,
so
I-
look,
You
so
were there for
you have
3
to be
days,
careful.
so that's like
You
a
fall
one
in
and a
love
half
that much
per
on the
day.
train.
No.
What you mean?
You have to be careful in New Orleans. So we went
You
to
do.
Deanie's, which is one of like the famous seafood places there, right?
Okay.
And I'm looking down, I'm texting, catching up on things of the day. And you know, New Orleans got the heavy accent among like men and women.
Yeah.
But women, they really call everybody baby.
Right.
So I'm sitting here and I'm texting, and then the waitress, well, she wasn't a waitress. I guess she was like the person that brought the food from the back.
Right.
We had a male waiter. The waitress walks up and she says, "Hey, baby, did you get this shrimp platter?" And I fell in love. And then I looked up and she wasn't nothing to fall in love with. And I was like, oh, I got to be careful. Even in the TSA line, she was like, "Come this way, baby." And I
this is
said,
why-
yo,
and
I
this
wanted to
is
scream out
why-
Osama, so I stayed with her.
Everybody needs to get their head out their phone. This is
Yo,
the reason
look.
why. You'd have said some slick shit to this woman and
Yo,
then be
look,
stuck all
it was,
weekend.
It was marvelous. Aside from that,
Marvelous. Let's count how many times
when
you
I
said
was
this
in
word.
when I was on Bourbon Street, I saw my MAGA hat.
Oh, you saw, you
Uh,
documented that too.
Yeah, live. Like he had it on and beads around his neck, and that was great.
He was rocking beads and a MAGA hat.
Beads in the
That's a
MAGA
hell of a
hat. It was wild. I'll set the picture out so people can see it. Following behind him was a man who had like a penis around his neck, and he tapped the MAGA hat man with the penis. And then
Was it a tap or like a slap?
No, it was like a tap. Like he wanted him to turn around, like he was getting his attention. It was like a penis in his face. And then there was a woman that came up out of nowhere and jerked off said penis in the MAGA. It was a wild time on Bourbon Street.
See, when you said be careful in New Orleans, I thought you were gonna say something else. Because when I went to Mardi Gras one year, I got whole pickpocketed by a professional. And I know the dude who did it. So imagine little me. He had to be like 6'2". I had him up against the wall by his neck, running his pockets.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. All my friends had to come get me.
Who robbed who? Exactly.
The picture of Portia like holding somebody in like a New
Like I
Orleans
had
alley
him
by
up,
the throat,
like
just
by his neck, like this, and I was like emptying out all his pockets.
That makes a lot of sense. I actually pictured you holding him upside down by his shoes or something. Like just dang.
No, but he didn't have it. He passed it off to someone.
Okay, wait. Okay, so the person who pickpocketed you,
Mm-hmm.
how did you know it was them?
Because
If they didn't have
Well,
it
here's the
when
thing.
you like
they're
ran they
professionals.
pockets.
Have you not seen Focus with Will
I have
Smith?
seen
Okay,
Focus, which is
so-
a movie,
Yes.
but you
But
know.
it was based on, well, it's real. I'll just say that. Okay. I'll just say that because I felt something like touch. So basically, it was either cover my cup up so I wouldn't get like roofied or anything,
Right.
or hold my bag.
Gotcha.
So of course I was covering my cup.
Hey, Portia, guess what?
Can I finish my story?
You got 2 hands.
No, I was the other hand I was holding on to the people I was with because it was very, very crowded.
It was crowded. Okay.
Yeah. So like I felt like my bag get pulled back a little bit.
Yeah.
And so then I tapped my bag. It was still closed. Everything was good. And then I look over and it's this tall nigga just looking at me all weird. I'm just like, okay. And then I felt it get tugged one more time. And then like as soon as I like reached back, like it dropped. And I look back and he like has his back up against the wall. Like back up against the wall doing something. And then I like turned around and pushed him up against the wall. And I said,
so basically, Portia robbed someone last time she was at Mardi Gras.
No.
Right.
Because she dropped her purse.
No.
Okay.
And all I did was get high and drink.
I'm okay with that. Just don't go to New Orleans if you can.
I know, or just don't wear purses. Just put it in your cleavage, ladies.
Stay away from Portia.
Just put it in your cleavage.
All right. Well,
sorry, we
we're going to bring it back from New Orleans back to Chicago.
Okay.
It's been a very interesting week in the city. We're going to start off with some good things. Apparently, we had the best and most lit night of Meek Mill's Motivation Tour.
Really?
Yes. Last night, so on the bill for the Motivation Tour was Meek, Cash Doll, Lil Durk, and Melly. For some reason, something happened in the city where Durk couldn't perform. They wouldn't allow Durk to perform.
Yeah, why won't they let him perform?
Probably hip-hop police. You know, things happen. They wouldn't let him perform. But it was so many more surprises up the hosting artist sleeve. Like Melly, she brought out 600 Breezy, who recently got free. Shout out to 600. Cash Doll brought out Dreezy. For some random way out of nowhere, the king of R&B, Jacquees, just popped up on stage. But it's very likely because be here because I'll tell you why she would be here next.
Okay.
Jacquees is here because he's dating Dreezy.
Gotcha.
600 lives here. So it's kind of like a little thing.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, Fabulous gives a set.
Oh, really?
Now, while Fabulous was here, he did a party last night at Cuvée. But I don't know what just made them book Fabulous for here. So Aragon, if you go to his page, his Twitter page or his Instagram page, you can see what it looked like in there. It was a sea of people in cell phone lights. And it was crazy. It was insane.
Are we still fucking with Fabulous, by the way?
I don't know. So that's something else I want to ask you. That's come up later in the docket.
All right.
So we're going to move from there, and we're going to get to the next point here, which is we're going to talk a little bit about why Dreezy is here probably right now because she lives in L.A., which is 312 Day, which is coming up this coming Tuesday, which has performances from Dreezy, Vic Mensa, somebody else is on. Lupe is on here. Yeah. Little Rail is doing a thing. It's kind of like a Chicago Pride Day.
And it's hosted by Don C.
It's hosted by Don C. I know Kendrick
so this is a venue event.
Yeah.
Really
so I would encourage all of you to look it up. I know my guy Ross. Shout out to Ross Mack.
Hey.
He's promoting it on his Instagram and some other things. So it's kind of like the entire Chicago culture just kind of pulling together, bringing a lot of people back here.
I just want to say,
and actually shout out to AT&T because they're the ones hosting it, and they actually do a ton of. No, but I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying because they do a ton of stuff for the community.
Well, I was gonna say AT&T definitely hired that we know to do their advertising because they have like footworking commercials now. They have like rap, like everything is like somebody. They got someone from the scene to do their shit.
I just want to say really quick. Because I love, like, shitting on Missouri. So,
304 Day. Hey, we getting them out of here. We took their idea and made it better.
That's what I'm saying. Because I remember, like, being in town for one of those. And I'm like, all right, what do we do? And they're just
like nothing. We just play music and dance and eat Chinese food. Shout out to Ryan.
Chinaman.
I was just like, why don't St. Louis do anything for their day? Like, look, there's no one from Missouri, I believe, to like defend, so I won't get too into it.
Okay, well,
I
was just like, with that said, we'll do this. Shout out to Ryan because he actually is doing stuff for the 314 Day, and he's starting an event called like St. Louis Made. I think I got it wrong, but it's literally like celebrating St. Louis and 312 Day.
Okay.
So I mean 314 Day. So he's actually doing something. So shout out to Ryan and Tanel and Souls of Liberty.
Yeah.
All right.
But no one else.
But that's about it. But to keep it moving though, on the Chicago front, have y'all peeped Juice WRLD's album?
I've not.
So I downloaded it yesterday. Enjoyed that. And then on another level, if y'all want to get into your R&B bag, because y'all know I'm R&B Sean, Kyle Dion's album is superb.
Okay.
It's literally amazing.
Okay.
So you got to get into both of those.
Where's he from?
New York, maybe. I'll do some research.
I got one.
What's up?
So y'all know my coworker Christian. He's from North Carolina.
That's right. What up, Wes? How you doing, man? Nice of you to join us.
Hey, good morning.
My homeboy put me on, and I could be like way behind the new niggas, but The Baby's
The
album
Baby's smack, bro.
is really good.
It is.
Baby on Baby?
Yeah.
Fantastic
Have
album.
you seen his Breakfast Club interview?
I have not.
Okay. Have you heard about the legend of the Baby?
No.
Okay. Can you scoot in a little bit closer
Absolutely.
for us? All right. So the legend of the Baby, he's a street nigga.
Right.
But on top of that, he was in a Walmart and somebody was going to try him.
Oh,
this is him.
Right.
Who was shopping with his girl, his
Okay.
baby moms, and the baby, and like one of his homeboys. Something.
Yeah.
And they were shopping for a child, getting baby clothes and stuff, and somebody pulled up on him, and he pulled out the banger and shot him.
Yes.
In the middle of Walmart.
In a Walmart.
Don't mess with the baby.
So, so I was looking, so he tells me about this at work, and obviously I just Googled the guy because I didn't know who he was. And so I'm reading through, and it's like, oh, the Baby Breakfast Club interview. The Baby sells this many like units or streams or whatever. The Baby beats his Walmart shooting case. I was like, what the hell?
The Baby is the real.
Me? You shot somebody in Walmart, bro?
But no, his music slapped though.
It does.
It's
very much so. And the music video is really hilarious.
It
for
is.
Like whatever his
and
single is.
he has a very good level of charisma to him too. When you watch him, like
Really?
just speaking.
It's
really good.
Okay, I mean, well, if we're talking about new artists that we like, I just want to give a shout out to Pink Sweatpants. I don't know if you all have heard of him, but this dude can blow. He's an R&B. Yes, we have a supporter. Got a supporter over there. Yeah, like if you EP, but check him out. He has at least 3 songs that I listen to on a daily now.
Okay.
So yeah, Pink Sweatpants.
We'll do.
So to wrap this up, Cal Dion, he's from Connecticut, but he raps heavily in New York. So we're gonna keep it going from someone who's getting a music career to someone who wanted a better one. Falling flat. Y'all, man, Jussie Smollett is facing 16 felony charges.
Man.
Yeah.
You guys just stomped all over Sean's beautiful segue, guys. He's been ready for that all week.
I've been point guarding pretty well today.
Agreed.
And they're coming in and stomping out my segues.
Totally agree. Look, if you want to run it back, I'm totally fine.
No,
So
we're going to let go.
anyone,
I got 17 more today.
All right, so for anyone who went to bed at like 8 o'clock last night, basically, Jussie Smollett got charged with 16 felony counts.
Yeah.
So before he was charged with felonies, but those in Chicago or Cook County.
He was facing state charges.
He originally had 1 felony, and that was just for the falsification of a report. When they took it to the grand jury, what they did was they separated it into him committing 2 felonies because he told a lie to 2 separate officers.
Right.
Oh, man.
And then within that, every lie and accusation that he did carries a different type of charge, and that's how it racked up to 16.
Okay, so this doesn't have anything to do with the fake letter that he sent himself.
Because they didn't have any direct proof that he actually sent the letter, so he's getting to able to walk on that one.
Sean, how many articles have you had to write about?
Oh, like 70, bro. Look, I'm so tired of this dude. Send him to jail already. You see how much I know about this case?
Sean
it'd be like that though.
Sean was laying out a timeline, like
I was gonna say, it'd be like that though, when you're
day.
covering like a thing. I remember when like Chirac came out, and I wrote like 15 articles.
Yo, I'm
that
so
shit,
tired.
Sean was
You
like,
just get sick of a topic, man.
All right, so it all started February 12th at approximately 1:13 a.m.
Oh, no, actually, it started. He made the first report January 29th at 2 a.m. Then he made the second one on the same day, but in the evening. That's when he spoke with the detective.
Work,
Oh,
Sean.
no, I'm on Jussie's ass. Like, pause. I'm on Jussie's ass. But yeah.
Man, so what do you all think this is going to do for his career? How do you think it's going to impact it? Of course,
Well, there's a
he's
new
screwed,
report that
but
says every job he had on the table has now been pulled.
I'm sure.
Empire already said, we've cut you from the rest of this season. I'm pretty sure they're going to cut him entirely.
I can't imagine. I don't know what Empire is like. It's such an established show. I don't think they can just like pull out Ain't Viv and switch him out.
Oh, no, they can just kill him.
But that's what exactly.
But
I think in the
kill
storyline
him?
he's not gonna make it to next season.
But you know what they should do? They should kill him the way that he lied. Kill off his
Have him
character.
get killed at a subway?
Yeah. Kill off his character at a
Give him, like,
subway
What?
by a
royalty on
racist
that?
Trump supporter.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
But with
hilarious.
the-
Hey, I bet you the
Nigerian?
ratings will be fire.
It
That's what
would.
SVU
Like,
would do.
cause then
That's
you
exactly
would
what
actually,
SVU
because you
does.
would then actually like see this attack actually happen.
Yeah, and
In
then
production.
if you want to like even take it wilder, have it be by 2 Nigerian men from a rival record company. Like, yo, you can take it for real.
Then we find out that
Yo,
he,
if y'all
then
need
we
a
found out
writer-
he made it all up himself, but
No,
it
but
went
he's
too
still
far.
dead, though.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Like
he's
it was
still
like
dead.
he hired these 2 people
Because he was
but
trying to get Empire back from the see, look, they need to hire me. Lee Daniels.
Let's
Look.
do it.
Man, but then
I
I
am
also
here.
think the part that makes it even wilder is that he actually went on Good Morning America and was interviewed
Crying.
crying. But he's an actor.
Here's the thing.
Explaining what happened.
You
I mean,
lied.
we saw R. Kelly cry.
I was gonna say
You
Chicago
lied.
motherfuckers have not been having a good run on like network news interview shows. Like between-
Lying to the Chicago police, that's one thing. Lying to Robin Roberts, totally different.
So disrespectful.
You just cannot do shit like that.
Why would you do her like that? Like, she's a treasure.
She beat cancer. You do not lie to Robin Roberts.
Isn't
like,
Robin Roberts native Chicagoan as well? If I'm not mistaken.
No, you're thinking of someone else.
Am I?
I will
you're
tell you in a
thinking
couple
of Robin Robinson.
Oh, that makes sense.
Who told their names to be so close? Robin Roberts is actually from Tuskegee, Alabama. Shout out to Tuskegee.
Shout out to Tuskegee.
Yeah,
I did not want to go to school there, though.
I think with Jesse, I would hope that one day, like years from now, he'll be able to get a job with like some soap opera or something and just sort of stay there. Like just find himself like a stable, low profile like acting gig, or maybe sing background for somebody. I don't know. Because I don't think he's going to go to jail.
No, I think he's going to probation.
Yeah, like, I'm almost certain he's going to plea out and get probation.
You think anyone's going to fuck with dude after this?
That's the
thing. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. He's going to plea out. He's going to take 2 of these charges, get probation for about 4 to 6 years. And then what's going to happen is he's going to disappear for about 3, 4, maybe 5 years and pop up on somebody's reality show. And that's going to be the restart of Jussie Smollett.
I hope reality shows are dead by then, though.
Yeah, reality shows.
Like,
let me ask you this.
Reality shows.
Real talk though, who actually knew his name before he?
I did.
I did.
I bought a ticket to the show here and everything.
He's a part of the Bell family.
No,
like their entire family is hella talented.
Yeah,
that's true.
I only know like.
But like honestly, I didn't know dude at all. Like
so. I want to say one. The funny thing about that is like he was trying to raise his profile, and part of the reason his story didn't work is for that reason.
Right, exactly.
Like what MAGA supporters running around like we got to go kill that one guy on Empire. Like that's just not a thing.
Yo, man. Also, what you going to the rally later? Like,
wait, but on the coldest day of the year.
On the coldest.
Like not even the coldest day of the year, but the coldest day of Chicago history.
Yeah.
Imagine being
like
it's in the history books.
Yes.
Yeah, like
imagine being a black hater so much that you watch the blacks every week just to hate them.
It just doesn't make any sense. That said, like I don't think that I feel like Jussie is famous enough to where the next time he does a thing, it will make its way out. Like I knew who he was before all this happened. But I think now he will forever be known by this particular scandal.
And it's going to help him.
His profile wasn't big enough to overshadow this drama.
But you know what he had to do?
But he wanted more attention. Now everybody's talking about it.
I'm not going to lie. And he's getting the platform that he wants. Because what do I tell you all the time? All publicity is good publicity except sexual assault.
Okay.
Can I say this?
All right. That is true.
It is.
I'm fair with that.
I don't understand. He's still pleading not guilty.
He is.
He's still
you know what?
What is his story? I want to know what his version
I think he should sit back down with
Child
Robin
Star,
Roberts
then
and
turn to Empire Man.
No, I'm saying like I want to know what his like when he's saying he's not guilty. Yeah, that's what I think is crazy. Like,
I mean,
it's like
R. Kelly has also made an appearance over there this week. My street was very busy down on the other side.
I believe that.
He actually just got released, right?
Yeah, today. But actually, speaking of, like, we saluted Robin Roberts for her like just role in media and how she did the interview with Jussie. Yeah. So I think we should also acknowledge Gayle King in her interview with Robert Kelly.
Yeah,
because she
Robert
Kelly.
I'm gonna let you tire yourself out. I'm gonna let you tire yourself out, Robert, and we'll get back to
she did to sit there withstand that type of anger and energy in such a cramped space, and I know it's hot because of the lights. He was clearly sweating, but she sustained. She sustained such good posture and like tone, and didn't let any of that affect her.
And also, like with someone like R. Kelly, I feel like if she's such a professional, I feel like it's just you're looking at him like.
And she told him, "It sounds like you're playing the victim."
So there was
like she was straight up with him.
There were many things in this interview that I think I paid attention to that people didn't.
Okay.
One of which was she tried to shoot him some bail and get him out of more trouble, because all throughout the interview, R. Kelly is saying shit that he shouldn't say. He's basically convicting himself, and then at one point, when they're talking his past cases, and she asked him, did you ever think that your past cases should change or change what you put in your music. She was like, no. He said no. He was like, well, they're relevant to what's going on today. People are going to look at it. He's like, no, they're not relevant. How are they relevant? I beat that case. He said, no, you got to quit it. Right. He said, no, I beat that case. Yeah. I'm like, no, she's telling you the difference. I beat that case is I did it and got away with it. Right. I got to quit it means I didn't do it.
Yeah, I want to say.
Wasn't proven
and he hung his hat on I beat that case.
So the thing is that I totally get having the girls that are living with R. Kelly do an interview. I don't really see the legal strategy in having R. Kelly do an interview because he's clearly not media trained.
No,
and he didn't handle the interview well. Like he went off midway through. He went off midway through. He kept saying "beat the case," which is the worst thing you can say. That's like some OJ shit. Like you just don't say that during an interview. And then throughout, he didn't provide this sort of. There was no clear plan. He was just very much like, I'm going to just I'm going to just say no over and over again. I'm going to just say I didn't do it.
I feel like he wanted to do the interview more than that. Like his team, of course, and advisors probably said, no, don't do it. Yeah, but it sounded as though he wanted to plead his case without pleading a case, just expressing I didn't do it. Y'all trying to tear me down. And then another issue that someone brought up is that he was also claiming I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids. And that's when he stood up getting very emotional about his kids. But it's kind of like, well, if you want a relationship with your kids, then why not allow these girls to have a relationship with their parents?
Yeah. So the thing about
it's an issue.
About should he or shouldn't he have not done the interview, I think they wanted to do it.
That's what I'm saying. I think he wanted to.
No, I think his team wanted to do it. I think the lawyer wanted to do it because the lawyer has done misguided shit this entire time. He literally stood at the courthouse and argue with Jim from I can't pronounce his last name. What's his name?
DeRogatis.
Yeah, he sit there and argue with Jim about the women. Like he stood up to the podium and said all of these women are lying. You are a lawyer, sir. Like
can we express this differently? Can we give a tip of the cap real quick to DeRogatis, who's been covering this case for almost 15 years now, and the legends of Chicago journalism.
And he's uncovered 3 tapes now.
Yeah, he's the guy. I mean, he was a music journalist. He was I don't cover hard stories like Jamal. You know what I mean? Like Jamal covers really good news. Like if I got it would be like me getting the R. Kelly P tape. You know what I mean? And then changing all my life to just focus on that. Like that's what he did. And he wasn't the guy who reported.
He's a music critic. And I also want to say that the idea that not only did he go through that situation, R. Kelly get acquitted, he continued to follow up after that and wrote that piece in BuzzFeed.
Also ruined
nearly
his career,
20 years later.
His career's never recovered from that either. Yeah. He's never gotten deals at Rolling Stone. He's one of the greatest people ever. He's rated for BuzzFeed. You know what I mean? Sun Times let him go. So it was I mean, it's a shame that he had to deal with that, but man, what a crusader for good shit right now.
Yeah, great.
So a couple of other things about this R. Kelly thing before we leave him in the eventual jail that he would be in.
With Jesse.
Yeah, that's a wild sale. R. Kelly and Jesse Smollett. Yo, it's musical as hell in there, but it's wild.
I need the Boondocks to come back just to create that.
That is a wild sale. Last night, the full interview had 6.6 million viewers. That is a ton because it's a 1.2 rating, especially for a Friday night. And it was the most watched thing on TV last night.
That's the R. Kelly interview?
Yeah, the full 1 hour with all the extra pieces. Yeah, Jim was in it. So someone else was in it.
In the same way that I want to acknowledge Jim, I also think we should acknowledge Dream Hampton because she sort of risked her career, her livelihood, and I mean, in some ways, her safety to interview these people, to gather all these folks. You constantly hear. The fact that she went through the effort of making sure all of this was in one thing, in one doc, and putting it out the way she did, I think is really important.
You're talking about the documentary series.
Yes.
Surviving R. Kelly.
All right, to wrap up Kels, Gayle King has also said that they asked her how she felt. She spoke to Oprah about it, and they just kind of asked her how did you feel in the moment, especially when he started snapping and standing up. She's after Oprah and my kids, Kirby and Will, called me to ask me if I was okay because it looked scary, but I was never worried he was going to hurt me, which I'm pretty sure she was not worried because
she's unbothered.
Well, not only that, but because if you are R. Kelly, the worst thing you could do is hit a woman on TV right now.
Yeah.
And then She said she was more concerned that he would stop the interview. So what I was really thinking to myself, I'm not done with this interview, so I'm going to let him have his moment. If I stood up to even confront him, that would have been his invitation to say this is over. So I didn't disrupt his anger, and I let him have that. She said she said Kelly was so upset that she didn't worry at some point he might accidentally hit me because he was so angry that he was flailing.
Earlier, before we, it was Gayle King was playing with house money at that point.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, it's kind of like
you couldn't do anything.
Look, you can hit me on camera in front of millions of people if you want.
I'm gonna be even hotter.
It's gonna be,
or this interview is gonna be great. I'm gonna be even hotter.
Wait, did you all see any of the clips of her interview with the two girls?
That was my next point here.
Yeah.
So I think that also shows his aggression toward those girls in the sense of how they always just continuously contradicted themselves.
In the
answers that they gave. But at the same time, he wasn't supposed to be present in the room.
Exactly.
He was.
But then eventually he came in. You could hear him coughing in the background, like to making his presence felt.
Yeah.
Next thing,
because and I feel like that particular thing, like the idea that he couldn't let himself speaks to why he's always preying on these young girls, or one of the reasons. Like the idea of control. It's not about the relationship you have with this woman, or how y'all a partnership. It's like I am in control of this person that I am quote unquote with. But and he showed that throughout, like the fact that he came in and sort of interrupted the interview, I think shows that.
Well, yeah, but they're also very, like, I didn't expect their presence to be felt like that, or them to have such an opinion, or like how they were checking Gayle. Yeah. Like Gayle asked them a question
You're doing great
about
to set me up today.
What? I'm just saying, but like she had asked them a question about like the sexual relations, and one of the girls snapped on Gayle. She's like, "No, Gayle, if I were to ask you about your
because she did an interview with Time, and they asked her how did she feel about that, what did she really wanted to say, and she said, listen little girl, this is what she wanted to say. Listen, little girl, you don't even know what you're saying right now, and one of these days you're going to regret this moment, you're going to regret this time in your life. She said, I'm at the point of chastising her, and I know me being me at this current, it might not have went as great as it did. But the last thing is we move on from R. Kelly. I don't know if any of y'all noticed, but this shit made me laugh when they came and started patting on his head. That nigga had Beijing on his head. For y'all that don't know what Beijing is this black hair supplement that rubs off instantly when you get in the shower. So when he got up, when he was crying and sweating and shit, that Beijing was gonna run down his face, and they came in there to make sure it was good. And all of a sudden, if you didn't notice, when he stood up, there was a fan over his head to keep him from sweating and make sure that Beijing don't run. R. Kelly's bald, y'all.
But you can tell though, because like the lining looked like.
That line looked, he had that Carlos Boozer lining, bro. All right, so we're gonna move on from R. Kelly's. We're going from one musical creep to another. Did any of y'all see Finding Neverland?
Yeah, I
watched
it yesterday.
All right.
So I haven't watched it. I'm just like, I feel like so much is happening. I feel like the timing was just off.
No, the timing was right.
You think the timing was right? It's just, I feel like so much is happening with R. Kelly. Like, imagine if you loved R. Kelly, you loved his music, and then having all this information just pushed into your face.
I should say though,
and now you have to disconnect with something that you might have loved.
No, I'm saying like the timing is perfectly right, because all we've done is just uncover one creep after another, from Weinstein to blah blah to this man to R. Kelly, now to Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
I feel some type of way because it's all these black men being or docuseries that's been picked up on major platforms.
The difference is because he's not a public figure. He's a public figure, but if Harvey Weinstein walked down the street right now, you wouldn't know Harvey Weinstein.
I think you would.
I would.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't have prior to this.
Yeah, he's a big ugly troll.
I mean, but before this, Harvey
Like
Weinstein could be standing behind me in Starbucks.
Prior to this, I wouldn't have known. That said, I think the thing is though, with all the folks who initially got, all the folks that were initially sort of brought to justice by the Me Too movement, they were ostracized sort of immediately.
Matt Lauer,
Louis C.K., like Harvey Weinstein, they were all sort of immediately taken care of as far as sell your business, lose your job, whatever the case. And with R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, it took a documentary because these accusations have been around for years.
In addition to that,
and nothing happened.
I think in this situation, being black helped them. in the sense of we always stick with our people so hard. Even now when people are like, why are we attacking the black man? Because the black man is fucking creeps. Get them the fuck out of here.
Okay, so here's my caution into watching Leaving Neverland. Leaving Neverland. Watching the Michael Jackson.
Furthest Neverland was fire.
Oh, yeah,
that shit had monkeys and shit. Neverland was fire.
Well, here's my take in like watching that is that I feel like I've seen headlines trying to cancel Michael Jackson. I've seen just as many headlines discrediting the accusers.
I mean, but you see,
so it's like
for me it goes both ways. Like there's so like it's such a hard thing either direction because I think like both these guys did accuse Michael Jackson. What was it, 10 years ago? It was after his death. They accused him of this, and a court threw it out due to lack of evidence. So like that already happened. At the same time, right after Michael Jackson died, the estate of Michael Jackson was in the pits. Like it was negative. It owed shitloads of money. They didn't have anything in that. But since then they've got the Cirque du Soleil. They've done all these things. Yeah. It's in the bills now. Like it's like a $10 billion company.
Yeah. Now. I think the other thing about
there's too many people eating off Michael Jackson.
Now there's money back in it. That's why I think the timing is weird, like you said. Because like if it wasn't about the money and it wasn't about getting some out of it for yourself, then 10 years ago it should have been.
So I should say this though.
But it does sound like something happened.
I don't disagree with that, but I also think that one of the things about being able to have this documentary come out now is that prior to, their story was never the main narrative. I don't think they've ever, because Michael Jackson was alive and because he was this huge figure who at his trial danced on the top of a limo, he was able to sort of control the narrative. You never really knew the full story that he was even being accused of. It was just like, oh, Michael Jackson's a creep. Like no one really knew what happened. And this, I think, was able to, at the very least, put their story on the same platform, on the same like level of notoriety. Because, I mean, they never had an interview with Oprah. They never had a chance to do this like sit down and let me tell you all the things that occurred. They just never did that. And so now, at the very least, they have that opportunity. And people can draw their own conclusions from there.
And it's different because people also have to examine the times. Like, if Me Too didn't ever come back around, R. Kelly could get away with all this shit. Yeah. Like, are we supposed to be okay that Michael Jackson's getting away with it because he's gone? I mean, I get it, but yeah. That takes me to my next question. Can we cancel a dead man?
Yeah, I think that's one. I was
Well, there was Deez and Samira talked about this, and they said God canceled him because he's dead.
That's enough for you.
I guess so.
So why is R. Kelly still alive?
I think that I was listening to like
God's not that consistent.
I was listening to some people talk about this, and I think like one of the points that I heard that I think makes a lot of sense is that Michael Jackson and his music and his sort of influence is very much like hard to get rid of. His influence is in so many different places. I mean, whether it be music or dancing, like I mean, you cancel Michael Jackson, you got to get rid of like Usher and Justin Timberlake. He's
not necessarily.
I just mean that his influence is humongous, and so getting rid of.
You're talking about his influence penetrating all of these different platforms, but not even that. His influence is generational.
Yeah.
Because he's like at least 4 generations in now. Because think about it, our parents grew up going to the Jackson 5 concerts and like buying the albums and whatnot, but their parents were the one paying for it.
Yeah.
So their parents were impacted by Michael Jackson, and then now we're our kids. Now you have little kids who know Michael Jackson, and know then the songs, know the music.
I mean, more than that, like are sampling them too. Like, what's old boy name? A Boogie with the Hoodie, like samples the lyrics and sort of the I don't know, ad libs that Michael Jackson used to do or whatever. Like I don't know if I just think that it's a more difficult thing than like, oh, let's fire Harvey Weinstein from his company or let's kick Matt Lauer off of the show that he's anchored for however long.
And what is all
it's
of
just
it
not that
in?
simple.
All of it is rooted in money. Everything we just talked about is rooted in money. Like, because Michael Jackson's money power is bigger than anything
else.
I
don't think that's true, though. I think it's
the influence of the music. Yeah. Everything is going to tie back to money. The sampling of A Boogie, that gets A Boogie money. That gets the record label that got Michael Samples money. That's money across the board.
I guess that's fair, like, but I think when people are creating music or dance routines or whatever, like, it's Michael Jackson is going to inherently be a part of that creative process, and that is not tied to money. that is just sort of pop culture and art, right? So I feel like that's why he's such a difficult person to quote unquote cancel. Like, sure, you can stop listening to his music, but like that's not gonna change the fact that when you watch, I don't know, Chris Brown perform, he's right there.
Okay, so now my next question for you is not can we, but should we cancel Michael Jackson?
I need to see the documentary.
Oh man,
you don't even need to see the documentary.
It's tough.
It's points in the documentary where they said okay, I'm gonna just be real honest. They said that Michael Jackson asked the kid to open up his butthole and Michael Jackson would beat off. And they said that Michael Jackson forced his penis in his mouth when he was 7 years old.
They said Michael Jackson married one of them little boys.
They said Michael Jackson
like bought him a ring and married that little boy.
Told them that they should. He had like an emergency plan for if they heard someone walking up the stairs. They would practice it all the time so that the kid could get dressed and shit.
And if you remember when I was here last time and James was here and I read y'all the lyrics, I mean not the lyrics, the words from the court documents about how the boy was able to successfully identify the speckles on his balls, to say what his ass looked like. Like Mike was guilty as fuck.
Yeah.
He was guilty. Is he going to get away with it? Yeah, likely. Is this going to have the same result?
The thing is, he already got away with it.
I mean, yeah. I'm saying, but I'm saying in the sense of, is it going to cancel R. Kelly? Like cancel in his, we not supporting this or listening like it did R. Kelly? No, because his money drives more and people are too emotionally tied to him.
Yeah.
But people are more emotionally tied to Mike.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Mike was an international
That's cool.
superstar.
But me knowing that he's a creep, if it come down to it, you got to get him the fuck out of here.
So what? I guess let me ask you this then: what does that entail for you?
What, getting Mike the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
Okay, let me clarify. First, I'm not the person that's saying the end all be all answers. We got to get Mike the fuck out of here. But saying if we're keeping the same energy we gave to R. Kelly, he got to get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
But if we were to do that, it's honestly, like I said, it's going to be harder because R. Kelly was still a frontline artist who didn't own any of his masters, blah, 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 whatever. But for we canceling this whole Michael Jackson thing, that got to go from him being played on V103 this afternoon to all them Vegas shows getting the fuck out of here.
Okay, well, here's the other thing is that, so if you're looking at the R. Kelly versus Mike, separating the music from, or the art from the artist from the art, then here's the thing. R. Kelly sang and wrote about nothing but sex. And now when you look at it, oh, he was talking about little girls
what you think
this
Pretty
entire
Young Thing
time.
is about? Right.
But I'm just saying that Michael had a much more vast and
I think so.
yeah, he talked about way more different topics.
He got songs from R. Kelly.
But he talked about girls.
Okay, you were not
and
alone.
we're talking
about a
about
girl that got pregnant at 12.
Okay, but you're not imagining him talking and singing to a little boy.
But I'm not.
I think it's a much more concrete link between R. Kelly's, behavior and his music versus Michael
Jackson. And his behavior and his music.
So if we're going to say that, can y'all listen to Fiesta by R. Kelly?
I mean,
can y'all listen to Step in the Name of Love?
So here's the problem. Can
y'all listen to When a Woman's Fed Up? Because he ain't saying when a little girl's fed up.
Here's the thing about that, though. I think if you choose to not listen to those things, that's on you. But I think for me, it's about the reason I wouldn't do that is because I imagine R. Kelly is receiving the money from the streams that I play.
But he's not. He doesn't own none of his masters.
That's what I was wondering. How did R. Kelly get to this point not own his masters and shit?
Yeah, he doesn't own shit. Like not a single song he's made and put out, he don't own it. And that's crazy. Dang. The only thing he owns now is when he got released from Sony or from RCA. In his negotiation with RCA, he said the music that I was making for this album we were about to put out, that's what I want to go with me.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from Bump and Grind to Step in the Name of Love to Happy People to Backyard Party to Fiesta to the shit he did with Jay-Z to Braid My Hair to Feeling on Your Booty, he don't own none of that shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not a single piece of it. It's owned by Sony, who collectively owns pieces of Michael Jackson shit.
Yeah.
But so my thing is like, who the fuck signed that deal?
I mean, you got to think about how deals was back then. R. Kelly probably signed.
I just think people wasn't enlightened like that.
Yeah, R. Kelly probably signed a legacy deal. He's been with the same label for like 30 years.
Yeah.
That's a legacy deal. It's the same way that this new Kanye deal had written in there that he couldn't retire.
Oh, yeah.
How is that line even put in there?
Like, how did that nigga not read it?
That shit's
right. I'm saying, but why would they even? That's like just an unnecessary addition.
It was like your record label gave you some lawyers, and them lawyers said you was cool. Like,
that's what happened. Yeah, that's really what happened.
Mm-hmm. It's like, no, these your lawyers.
But no, that's what happened.
Just, like, work at our office.
That's dead serious what happened.
Yeah.
Every label has in a legal department that they assign to someone who looks for your best interest and heart, but they don't.
Yeah.
But
Sony also owns a lot of the smaller labels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kelly or Michael Jackson were just innocent of everything. Whose music do you need more in your life?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Shit, I need R. Kelly music more in my life.
Michael Jackson, easy.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
No-brainer.
I was talking to somebody today, and they was like, which Michael Jackson songs do you like absolutely have to have? I say, really, just 2. I can't help it in The Lady in My Life. You keep the rest of that shit.
What?
I said, but the R. Kelly songs I need, it's a ton of them.
See, so like for me, like I think like R. Kelly, like having grown up while he was doing his bullshit, like
you connected to it more.
No, I'm like I don't fuck with dude at all because like of the fact that I know for a fact that he did everything he did. You know what I mean? Like I was so young when like Michael was coming up and stuff. That he just seems he still seems like this larger than life character and stuff like that. It doesn't like R. Kelly, yes, can get all the way the fuck out of you. Like I've definitely done that shit. You know what I mean?
Okay,
but
wait,
yeah, no, like I got more R. Kelly songs that I would play just because I would want to hear them than I do.
Just riding your car by yourself and you listen sometimes?
Who doesn't listen to Fiesta?
I haven't listened to R. Kelly in like 2 years.
Who never?
Man.
Yo, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was growing up and I was working hard, I always had that thought of when I get that money, I'm gonna be. Did you ever think that you would get this rich? Come on, R. Kelly had shit to smack beyond sex. We ain't gonna do that.
Nah,
okay, wait. So, point guard, what was the other thing on your
After
agenda?
the show,
Oh, we got some more. So when we were
yeah.
talking about canceling, we're gonna move into Fabulous. So Fabulous took a plea deal in the assault of Emily B. But he also had his wife and her father, who was present in that video, hop on his side.
Wait, can we back up for a second? Like,
Sure.
remind the viewers about that video because that's a wild.
So in the video,
Yeah.
That's like we talked about it like
in the Fabulous video.
Season. Yeah.
So in the Fabulous video, it came out on
Knocked the tooth
TMZ.
out.
He was outside, being like held back by security, while he kind of like threatened his baby moms and her father with a pair of scissors. There was reports that he knocked his baby mom's teeth out. We never saw an image.
Of course not.
Things like, but in this day of TMZ, we always see the image. That's why we knew Jussie was guilty.
She was walking around with her mouth taped shut.
But like all type of things like that. They went to court. He was facing 2 felonies. They were state-based felonies. Both Emily and her father testified on Fab's behalf. He took a plea deal because when it's Fed, you can't get out of it. Is Fab canceled?
I could go without Fab.
I feel like he been
Shit, them
canceled.
soul tapes smacked.
That's the
After that-
thing. Them soul tapes was really good.
It was amazing.
That said,
I could go
I don't
without
listen to Fabulous enough to feel like. See, this is.
But you can keep Michael Jackson.
That's the thing. Right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The thing is that you end up judging like how you end up doing this like balance of like, okay, how bad was the incident and how much do I enjoy the music? And maybe it shouldn't be that way. Maybe that's like not how it should be when you're trying to decide whether to quote unquote like cancel artists. But that's what people do, right? It's like that's how you talk about it. Like, oh yeah, I can live without Fabulous. What'd he do? He jaywalked? I'm good. Like whatever. Like who cares? But it's like I'm struggling to let go of listening to Mike shit.
So for
it's
me,
just kinda
Fab
wild
is
like
like
that.
Fab is one of my 7 favorite rappers ever.
Okay.
So when I heard it, I was like, yo, this is wild. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? I've been with this man since Hollaback Shorty.
Yeah.
Like,
perpetually do or you are or
I think so.
Are you like perpetually, even if it's not women, if you like perpetually hitting on your wife or your baby moms, like it's like that is behavior that you are continually doing, you do not feel sorry for, and you were like.
But it has to be
I don't
because I
know.
feel like if that was his first time
Perpetuating.
hitting her, then of course his emotions probably would have de-escalated at some point after he saw what he did. But no, his anger continued to push him to go outside with some scissors
Yeah.
outside,
If he hit
being in broad daylight. So clearly you can be recorded, which someone did,
Yeah.
of you trying to actively attack her,
Yeah,
her and her father
yeah,
even further.
yeah.
So definitely, I don't think it was a first timer.
Yeah. It's hard with music though, man, because so many people have like things that they are
all right.
responsible.
So now my
for.
next question for you.
Right.
Who's the one artist that you can't live without, Jamal?
I mean, probably Hove.
So what does Hove have to do for you to cancel?
I don't know, man.
Because to be honest with you, they could have came and told me that Hove sold crack to a baby, and I'd be like, the baby wanted that shit. Hove sold crack to a baby, smacked the mama. I'm like, damn, Hove, wow.
It would take
like
a lot.
Blueprint fire though.
It would take a lot, bro.
It take a lot for me to let Hove go.
I mean, he
Yeah.
survived cheating on Beyonce, which is like most men.
I mean, but
couldn't
look,
get- most men couldn't
men
get
cheat.
past
It's
that.
okay.
Huh?
No, I ain't gonna lie to you.
What?
I'm just saying, like,
Wait a second.
Beyonce though, like,
I ain't gonna lie to you. When I found out Hov cheated on B, I said, yeah, I'm never gonna marry a black woman because she gonna get in the car like, yo, you playing Jay-Z still? The fuck you thought I wasn't? What he do? He cheated on Beyonce. Well, look, you get on this curb right here.
Wow.
No, look, reasonable doubt is better than any relationship I'll ever have. The fuck?
Man, what I would
Put it
say,
in the vows, goddammit.
Yo, I'm gonna stand up there. Look, they gonna stand up there. They gonna be like, yo, Sean. They're like, do you take this? I'm like, no, they made my vows. They're like, what's your vows? Look, dude, you know I love you like cook food, even though we've been together.
Yo,
No.
can I tweet that right quick?
Yeah, look, reasonable doubt, Blueprint, Black
Reasonable
Album,
Doubt is
all of
better
that is
than
better
any
than any relationship I'm
I'll
ever
ever
going
have.
to have.
Wow, you heard it here,
So I
ladies.
knew that I wasn't gonna date anyone that loved Beyonce.
You
It
heard
just
it, ladies.
means you
I
gotta
love
find
Beyonce,
somebody that,
and I feel like Beyonce is an artist I probably couldn't cancel,
No, I couldn't.
but never
like,
cancel Beyonce.
Man, look.
She could do no wrong.
Look, Jake could go stand next to Donald Trump and say, fuck all you niggas. And I'm like, he right, MAGA, MAGA, nigga, MAGA. Like, let's go.
Because I think everybody has that person. Everybody has that person.
Look,
Portia, you have to have that person, right? There's got to be
Beyonce.
a person who, okay.
Beyonce,
So, yeah.
she couldn't do any wrong.
So Beyonce could do.
She has done no
whatever.
what if
wrong.
you found out Beyonce has been like fucking little boys for like the last
What?
20
yo,
years or some shit?
I'm going to say, where was I as a little boy?
See, I was gonna say,
What if
but look,
Jack-
but
what's the
here's
exact
the
thing?
thing.
How
But
wide is the window?
wait.
What do we call a little?
Because
Because
I
I'm
was like,
12
but
right now.
But what young boy is going to complain? That's the other thing, a double standard. Because the thing is, what any child or any like student who may have had sex with their teacher, what child is going to complain?
No, I mean, I agree.
Charlamagne
What boy
complained
is
about
gonna
the girl
complain?
that was giving him head because he ain't like her Jerry curl smell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
That's when you needed the board, Jake.
Okay, but just smooth little transition because you haven't brought it up yet. I don't know if it's on your doc.
It may be.
It's coming up.
Okay.
But I really want to talk about, and I have a lot to say about this entire shaming of Jordan Woods.
Oh, yeah, that was next. Hey, PK on the board.
Because, like, can I just say, so everyone, unless you've been under a rock, everyone knows what happened as far as allegedly Jordan Woods slept with Tristan Thompson, who was dating but was off with Khloe Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan and Kylie are best
during the
friends.
interview, she didn't admit to sleeping with him. She denied it. Or
She
what?
denied it.
She said that
She
they
denied
only
it.
kissed. And
He
he
kissed
kissed
her.
her.
Okay.
But she put her legs on top of him.
Okay.
At like separate points. Like they
Okay.
kissed when he kissed her when they were leaving or whatever. And then people saw this and it blew into this whole thing. So then the very next day, as soon as word broke, Kylie, like the entire Kardashian family, basically publicly shamed her.
Right.
Shamed her. Khloe was tweeting things such as like, oh yeah, you tore apart my family. You're the reason that we broke up and everything. Kylie Jenner went on and her partnership for her lip gloss that she did with Jordan, 50% off. Like just dropped the value of that. So the entire family basically calls her out and shaming her. And my issue is that you all have done the most shameful things to each other, to friends, to family.
Well, oh, my fault. Go ahead.
Oh no, well I'm just saying like they've done the most shameful things and or done their own shameful things as far as like just under the rug things or like stealing people's men and whatnot. But then they'll just pay it off. They have enough money to shut everybody up.
Well, also like
And not be
the thing
called out
about-
on their shit. But then when something happens with Jordan, now all of a sudden you all want to come down hard on her publicly to shame her.
Can I?
Well,
can
I'm
I?
upset.
Can
hold
I?
on. I was gonna say I'm upset that we're even bringing this up on the show because we're feeding into the problem, which is the
True.
Kardashians.
They are an
And
issue.
The only time anything ever comes up that's like a controversy or a problem or anything is a week or two before their fucking show comes out.
That's the other piece I was
And
going to
I
say.
fucking hate that. Is that they
That's the other piece I was gonna
like
say.
Kris Jenner has infiltrated shitty media like Perez Hilton and all those fucks. Like my bad, I'm very passionate. but like for real, like it sucks because it's like I go on like my Google News app and it's like 50 stories about Tristan Thompson and Jordan Woods. And it's like none of this matters. This
Can
isn't
I-
a
None
real
of it
story.
matters.
Yeah.
But it is all about timing because then what is this like season 17 of the
have no
Kardashians
idea.
is about to drop on Tuesday or something.
Can I ask a question? And this is completely like ignorance on my part. Why do we as a public know who Jordan Woods is? Is she a singer?
She's
Is
Kylie
she,
Jenner's best friend.
And Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's niece.
Okay,
But
so
she
here's
was
my
only found out to be the niece recently.
Okay,
when
No,
it came
no,
to
it
say
had
it.
been a thing. It was.
If-
I mean, I knew it before it happened.
I mean,
I'll say this.
That's different.
I'll say this.
Yeah, I mean, I knew.
I'll say
That's
this.
different.
If in fact Jordyn Woods is known for being Kylie's best friend, then my pushback on your point is that you can't bite the hand that feeds you. Like, the only reason Jordyn Woods is famous is because of her relationship with the Kardashian family, and you gonna go and fuck over the Kardashian family? Like, what'd you expect was gonna happen?
I don't think she.
You thought they wasn't gonna turn on you?
No, I'm not saying that she's denying the claims that she was sleeping.
That she was sleeping with him, but she threw her legs, like straddled him or whatever?
No, like they were sitting on the couch. I think she had her.
Long story short, if this is the couch, Portia put her legs across me like this.
Yeah.
And then me being a man, if we're in the after party move and we drinking and a woman puts her legs across me, if I want to be faithful, I'm gonna say, "Yo, shorty, you got to move your legs."
But they weren't even together.
Okay, if you want to be Kardashian faithful,
okay,
but you can't say if I was a man, but if you were Tristan Thomas, who is a 20-something-year-old with an $80 million contract, and you ain't shit.
But I mean, Tristan Thompson ain't shit. Let's just put
in
it
the
on
NBA. Like in the NBA, he's not shit.
But I'm just
I mean, just as a person, and
I'm fine with that. But I should
like, and no one in the NBA fucks with him. Like people think he's a bitch in the NBA.
He's a head ass.
I should say though, there is no way that your best friend's man, y'all hanging out or whatever, you throw your legs over his, like, you throw your legs over his legs, or like he like kisses you and you don't like immediately push him away. You wouldn't do that to your best friend.
Right, but then here you have, let's go back a couple of years with Kim, Blac Chyna, Kylie.
Wait,
we don't even have to go into this because like Jake said, I don't want to talk about it, but
shorty wrong, G.
She's wrong?
She's wrong.
Man, I'm Team Jordan. I don't care. Okay, if I had to pick a team,
break it down like this.
I'm Team Jordan.
Let's break it down like this. Let's say I'm dating your best friend, right? And you come to my house for a house party that she's not at. Would you stretch your legs out across my body? So she's wrong.
She could be wrong.
And
That's
I'm
what
saying, okay, so
this is not a right or wrong argument.
But let me break it down to the next point I was going to say. So at that point, Tristan as a man had two options. He could look at her and say, "Yo, shorty, you got to move your legs because of what it is."
He's a head
Or
ass.
he can say, "Oh, shorty putting her legs on top of me. She wants to kind of flirt," and he's going to grab her legs. Now, second point of this, if he does show the grab leg move, she could still be as a woman. "Yo, what you doing?" I'm just trying to be
what I'm
comfortable.
saying, but this is not a right or wrong story. This is not the type of
like
choice.
you're trying to say they're trying to shame her.
That's the issue. Is that I think that the shame, the way it comes
down, she shouldn't be shamed for trying to get somebody else man.
Right, but then why not show that same shame to your own glass
I mean, you're not going to
house?
shame yourself.
Well, see, here's my thing. I don't necessarily believe that she should be shamed, but I can't blame the Kardashians for shaming her. If
you can't blame
like
them.
if that's the only reason I know Jordyn Woods' name. Like her whole persona is wrapped up in the Kardashians. You can't go fucking over Kardashians then.
I think she'll be straight without them.
What's she gonna do?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
She talented in some way? Like I don't know. I don't
Are
know.
they?
No, they're not.
No,
They're
but she's not part of the family. So.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I know, but I'm just saying that I disagree. Like everybody's wrong in the situation. Every single party has done something wrong. So it's not a right or wrong moral conversation. It's just I disagree with the way of how they throw stones as if they don't live in a glass house.
Yeah, I mean,
well, they're just shitty individuals. They're like,
and
like,
it's all
they're just
ploy.
like Kylie Jenner was the first self-made billionaire or some shit. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the hell out. And then it's so many things we could go into, and I just choose not to because we can go down a rabbit hole.
All right,
so
we
point
go
guard.
from one trash woman to a powerful woman in Captain
Yeah,
Marvel.
I enjoyed the movie.
We ain't gonna like what we got to say about this movie.
What?
So.
I enjoyed the movie.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my in the moment reactions of this thing.
Okay.
It started off extremely corny, and I was like, "Yo." It started off where they were doing like the little. It started off confusing because she kept doing these random flashbacks that didn't really make sense, and like beyond that, then it moved to when she got kidnapped and she was doing this awkward run through the spaceship. And I was like, yo, why is she running like this? I literally looked at my guy and said, yo, why is she running like this? Like, what's going on? And I was like, yo, this shit corny. And then it got better when Sam showed up because then it got like serious. We were actually developing a storyline. And then it got funny. Overall, this movie was a C at best.
It's just, I thought it was a B, but it was mediocre. So like, as far as like the Marvel movies are concerned, like.
It's at the bottom. It's right down there with Thor: The Dark World.
That's the thing. Thor is the bottom.
It's right down there.
The first two like Thor movies are garbage. Yeah. So it was better than those.
And that's where I stopped.
But I just didn't like.
Spider-Man is near the top. I give it top 10 of like the collection of Marvel movies.
But you all are saying you all dislike this movie. However, it is a very important piece into the entire Avengers story.
Yeah, it's very important, and that's the other thing.
And I feel like that's why it should have been better.
It's the only one that didn't feel organic too. Like the way Marvel has done these is kind of like these movies can't. They sort of establish all these storylines, and then they made Avengers, and they've and then they continue on making these movies. They put out another Avengers. Like it sort of was like nothing felt rushed. And this one felt like a puzzle piece.
Like we had to put everything in there.
Yeah, like in order to make this next movie, we got to put this out. So
and then like even when we got to Black Panther, even though Black Panther served a role in like Wakanda and everything, he was still introduced differently.
Yeah, like it just wasn't a big deal.
He was introduced over 2 movies before it was a Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
So like we had his first introduction in one of the things where they were talking about, it was like a real slick thing where it was like, oh, it's from a tiny nation named Wakanda, blah, blah, blah. And then in the next film, then we actually get to meet him in
Civil War,
Right, but the thing with her storyline is that she's been gone. She's been missing. So there would have been no reference to her because nobody knew her.
But no, but even with that still, if you're a casual Marvel watcher who doesn't know anything about a comic book base, you still got a hint that Black Panther was on the way before it happened. Like, we didn't get any Captain Marvel hint until Sam died.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, I was okay with it. I just wasn't. Okay, so this is like my overall theory as to why it was average. Okay. Captain Marvel is loosely based on Superman, right? Alien, lands on Earth, like, or not an alien technically, but like has these powers or whatever. Her like story is very similar to the Superman story, and I think when you have someone who's just this like all-powerful being, there's not enough there to sort of like make a entertaining, compelling storyline. Like the reason people like Batman is like because he has all these flaws, and you sort of can like explore those in a movie. With Captain Marvel, it was like what. Like her powers kind of just came out of nowhere. I just didn't feel like there was enough struggle and enough like nothing for like the average person.
Well, it was a ploy to like woman empowerment.
I agree with that. I mean,
like about being controlled, trying to control your inner light or inner being.
Yeah, that makes it cheaper. Huh? I feel like that makes it cheaper then.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what they played with because it came out on International Women's History Day.
What was crazy about it when I was watching it and.
It felt like a Nike commercial. Certain parts felt like Nike commercials. I will say that.
We sat through 22 Marvel movies, and this is the person that's supposed to beat the worst thing that we ever seen in our life.
The other thing is like the powers just weren't quite. They didn't feel deserved. Yeah, like when she was like leaving Earth, flying into space, like taking on this like warship or whatever, and then coming back. Like it was kind of like. You didn't know how to use this shit like 5 minutes ago. It was, and I'm like, it just felt like.
This is.
Didn't feel like it was deserved.
I'm like, this is the person that's going to save us from everything when the nations and the entire galaxy's best heroes couldn't do it.
But here's the thing. But you don't know. So she left off, and I guarantee you, if they do a Captain Marvel sequel,
I hope
it's
they
either
don't.
But if they do, it's either going to keep it right. They have to, but it's either going to follow up right after whatever is coming out with the next Avengers, or it's going to pick up for what her journey was like.
Yeah.
We don't have to give away the movie, but what her journey was like in that gap period.
Between while she was gone, what the hell happened? But even with that, still,
and that might make you appreciate her more.
No, I doubt it.
I hope. Potentially.
And I don't want people to take this as a Sean doesn't like women characters because Black Widow is my shit, and I can't wait for the Black Widow movie. But she just ain't do it for me.
Yeah, well, still go see the movie and decide for yourself.
Yeah, that's fair.
You should
go see it and decide for yourself.
If you want to see the Avengers, you probably should see it.
And that mid-credit scene pissed me off.
What?
Yeah, the mid-credit scene pissed me off. All right, we got a couple more things we're going to get out of here real quick. For some reason, y'all want to talk about Green Book. I have not seen this.
I haven't seen the movie either, but shout out to Mahershala Ali, though.
Take this away. And Wes knows something as well. So I'm going to let you guys take this away.
I've been getting my ass kicked for this, like, throughout the week. So I saw Green Book. Without knowing any of the backstory surrounding the movie, all the controversy, I just knew Mahershala Ali's playing this like awesome sort of character. Let me go check it out. So I watched it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. Like I believed it. I was totally fine with the movie. Walked out of there having a pleasant experience. Shortly after that, I read that the family. The family of the character Mahershala Ali is playing didn't sign off on the script. They didn't like the movie. They pointed out all these inaccuracies about who this man was and the way he is portrayed in this movie. Shortly after that, there comes a ton of sort of controversy and backlash because this is classified as a white savior film. You have, they relate it to things like The Blind Side. It is literally like Driving Miss Daisy. There are like these sort of other films that over time people have been able to go like, hey, we've got enough of these. Like, we don't really need a film that does this. Other thing is that the other criticism I've heard quite a bit is that it essentially tells this, like, you have this extraordinary black man who is, stays above Carnegie Hall. He is classified literally as a, genius musically.
He's like contemporary Nina Simone.
Exactly. And instead of telling the story through his eyes, they tell the story through Tony Lip, who is essentially like a bodyguard. Like, he's like, he's just this average guy. He's the main character. It's his story of sort of
he
growth.
Taught this guy how to eat fried chicken.
Right. So,
that's literally in the movie.
That is one scene in the movie.
That's not what I got from the previews. I thought it was coming from like Mahershala's.
So yeah. So those are like three of the major criticisms I've heard. I'm sure there are others. I should say, I realize there are a ton of like quote unquote white savior films. That said, I do not mind. It does not inherently bother me when Hollywood makes one, especially during a time where we have so many other films that are centered around minorities. I think at a point it was like the only time black folks can get in a movie is when they are in a white savior film. And I think now, at the very least, there are other stories that were even nominated for Best Picture that are told from a minority perspective. That said, my biggest issue is the fact that the family did not sign off on this film. That, to me, is, you can't tell a story about this huge figure and not speak with the family that it is portraying. I think that is royally fucked up. All that said, really enjoyed the movie without any other context. Like, if you just watch it and without sort of thinking about any of those things, really entertaining ass movie.
So I want to let you know, in response to that, our faithful watcher Mary Lisa is also tuned in. And she said that when you were talking about Green Box, she texted me and said, "Same, Jamal, same." And then she also said it was a good movie. Then as soon as I told Steph, she sent me the link to the story about the family not fucking with it, and she sent me a picture of Shrek looking like he has to take a shit. And,
so tell me why, like, didn't it win Picture of the Year?
It won Best Picture.
Yeah, so Best Pictures. Yeah. But like,
Marylee,
storylines, you think there's definitely movies that had like storylines that actually were like, I don't know. It seemed like, if you realize that after you just saw the movie and then like got a link and read it, like the whole Academy didn't think like, I don't know.
Wait, if you're saying so it was a white savior film, but if they're telling it from the perspective of a lower class white man,
right,
wouldn't it kind of make it a black savior film?
No, so I'm a white man who saved this black nigga and showed him how to eat chicken.
Well, the thing is
that
where
he teaches him how to eat fried chicken.
Right, but then didn't he come to save him?
Scene, but like, I feel like people have hung their hat on this scene, and it wasn't like that insulting.
Jake like, yeah, Sean, this is how you get Jewish chicken.
But the thing that they said was like the savior part of it is that, and this is one of the things that the family actually disputed. The savior part is that he doesn't have a connection to his black family. He doesn't feel comfortable around black people in black spaces. And this white guy was able to, welcome him into his family. Like at the end, well, not to give it away, but at the end, there's a scene where
you about to give it away.
It's not a spoiler. It's just the fact that like he develops a friendship with this man and his family, and so it was kind of like he's been able to, he teaches him how to not take himself so seriously. He teaches him how to,
he frees him.
Yeah, exactly. Like gives him sort of a family to come home to and all that. So
also
that's sort of the savior part, even though it's presented the opposite.
Wait, let's ask the one other guy who saw the movie.
The savior part is kind of interesting because, like, I agree with what you're saying.
Wes, everybody.
Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying. Also, a part of why I would consider it a white savior film is, the black character of the movie was definitely, like, was discussed like the more well-off and like affluent and everything else, and it was like coming like with like a lower class white guy in the situation. Yeah, at the same time, like given where they were going, you know what I'm saying, and how things are, moving like in the belt that they were traveling, like he still had to like literally save him. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really matter who this guy was or anything else. It was just like, yo, we're here. You got the brand. You're paying me to drive you, but like, it don't really matter who you are or what this is. If you weren't here, if I wasn't here, like they would have, not to give things away, but like he literally saved his life at points in time because it didn't really matter like who was what, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, that's also true. I forgot about the literal saving.
The literal saving. It's just like, yo,
there was some of that.
Yeah, like we finna, you know what I'm saying? We own that with you, and it's like, nah, he's cool, guys. You know what I'm saying? And like,
so that's the time frame though. That's the timing.
Speaking of time frame, before we wrap up, also from the desk of Mary Elise, when you were talking about it seemed like it could be a black savior film, she said, exactly, PK. That's why I didn't feel away. The white man was the nigga in the movie. Continuing
Shout out to
forward,
Mary Elise.
also from the desk of Mary Elise, while we did cover that R. Kelly was released from jail, someone else has paid for him to get out again. So someone put up the $161,000.
Yo,
dude, I want to know which one.
$160,000 in child support.
Yeah, that's what he had to pay to get out.
Did we
so
ever
I know
confirm
which one of you aunties is throwing this box and that
free the girls.
I got it.
Did we ever confirm that was that daycare owner is the one who it was her?
She did it.
Okay.
And I live down the street from the daycare and the restaurant that she owned.
Yeah.
I went past the daycare at a random hour.
Wait, what's the relevance of a daycare?
Oh, they just started spamming her shit. They was like, "How are you a daycare owner supporting R. Kelly getting out of jail?" So the woman who owns the daycare center paid for R. Kelly to get out
the first time,
and she also owns the Hood Batter.
And that's messed up because it's a daycare.
Yeah, and she also owns the Hood Batter and Berry spinoff called Love in the Blue, which is like down the street from me and Mary Lisa's house. Yeah. Okay. And me and her went there on Christmas Eve, and it was a really good, delightful spot. But now since we've been there, it's been looking like a desert. And then the last thing that I just want to share with you all, we had a very bad tragedy down south as there was a tornado that killed 23 people in Alabama. But your fearless leader, Donald Trump, thought everything would be okay if he went down there and signed people's Bibles. And that's my time. Point guarding is over.
That's what he did?
Yeah. He signed Bibles. Like, he said, you don't have anything for me to sign? Give me your Bible.
Such a
and
hit
he signed
ass.
the Bible. Multiple Bibles.
There's nothing to say after that.
Oh, and did you also see that he had an imposter of his wife go with him? Because I guess she didn't want to go with him, so they found a lookalike and sent her. And
what?
Yeah, that's what fake Melania is.
Malika.
Yeah.
No, but
Malika is the girl from
other
she's the Kardashians' other friend.
Yeah, the other black one. But one other thing I just wanted to point out because it's happening tomorrow. So shout out to the Soul Shack, which is opening in Hyde Park on 53rd Street, and it's owned by my other favorite restaurant, Lighthouse. It's owned by Mickey House, at Lighthouse and Mickey's.
Is that where we're going tomorrow?
Yep.
Yes. Oh yeah, we in that hole tomorrow.
Yeah. Show up.
I mean, not you, but.
What do you mean? I am going tomorrow.
All right, cool. You're not gonna be with us.
It's y'all little black.
The media
thing,
conglomerate.
Black men's thing.
Yeah, we in there.
Well, I'm actually gonna be in Hyde Park, and
that's cool.
I'll see you guys there.
No, we're gonna act like we don't see you.
Yes, you will.
No.
Brendan don't say hi to me.
Well, his name's Brandon, so
snap.
maybe not. What did you call him? Brendan. With that said, we are the 3-piece on Mildsauce Radio.
All right, bye, Brandon. I'll see you later.
PK is ruining names. Oh, also come out to Enjoy tomorrow. I will be hosting Ashley Banks' listening party. It is on a school night. It does begin at 9 o'clock, but we grown.
Come
it's
on
an
in.
Enjoy. I can't roll off the actual address right now. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick so we can get off the air.
Shout out to Sean. Hosting gigs on hosting gigs.
So it's an Enjoy. Of course, she didn't put it on here. It's an Enjoy,
Brandon.
man. It's in your iMessage. Y'all know how to use the Apple shits. It's an Enjoy. Oh, yeah, 2051 West Division from 9 to midnight.
Lit.
I will be hosting. There are additional performances. I'm doing a live interview, and yes, it will be fun.
Okay, dope.
Damn right.
And it's free.
And follow us on Instagram, the 3-piece.
Exactly. That's us.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Next week. See you.